Hey there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. I'm the mom and I do the movie reviews. And my goal is to save you time and money by giving you the inside scoop on filmmaking quality and content so you can decide whether or not you want to spend time or money watching a particular film. So today, the movie I'm reviewing is called Saving Bikini Bottom, the Sandy Cheeks movie. This cute animated sequel to the popular SpongeBob franchise premieres exclusively on Netflix on August 2nd, 2024. You can learn more about it at netflix.com/saving bikini bottom, although you could just finish watching my review and I'll tell you more about it. The rating is G. Yay, we rarely get to see those, right? It's an hour and 22 minutes, and my overall movie review mom grade is probably a B, maybe even a B plus. And I'll tell you why. I'll give you an overview in a nutshell. I'll point out tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines, interesting lines, things I liked, of course, things I didn't like. And then we'll finish up with recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that you and your kids might also enjoy. But before we do all of that, let me share today's featured product. The sponsor is Amazon. Now, in an ironic move, today's featured product is a bendable and posable Sandy Cheeks. It's ironic because of the plot of the movie, and which is that there's this greedy CEO played by Wanda Sykes who wants to make money by creating products based on Bikini Bottom's residents that she calls Sea Pals. And I think these Sea Pals will probably be actually pretty popular because so many people love the SpongeBob TV series and now the movies. So you can click on the link in the description below and it'll give you the Amazon link where you can learn more about those products. All right, so in a nutshell, this new addition to the SpongeBob universe features Sandy Cheeks, the underwater gal pal. When Bikini Bottom is suddenly scooped out of the ocean, Sandy Cheeks and SpongeBob journey to Sandy's home in the state of Texas, where they meet Sandy's family and must save Bikini Bottom from the hands of an evil CEO. They must save Patrick, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and the rest of the gang before time runs out. Dun dun dun. The film was directed by Liza Johnson. Now, about the movie, the director stated, quote, "I hope audiences are left with a new understanding of Sandy. I know I took her for granted that she could just do her job in Bikini Bottom, have friends, and have a good life. But I think the truth is that all of us, as we grow up, have to find our own way." And I love that she's speaking to not only the kids, but the adults who grew up watching SpongeBob. I know my kids loved watching SpongeBob, and now they're all growing up. And I think that if they have time, they'll get a kick out of watching this movie. So writing credits go to Kaz, Tom Stern, and Steven Hillenburg. Rest in peace. This is the fourth hybrid SpongeBob movie. So quick tips for parents, because kids are going to be interested in this. Parents of daughters, I think especially, will be happy that Sandy Cheeks is a girl who loves science and marine biology. Yep, this is another girl power movie. Carolyn Lawrence, who voices Sandy, stated, quote, "I'm glad that after 25 years, Sandy's getting her moment. She's been a phenomenal character for girls and women because she is an atypical animated character. She's highly capable," end quote. So those are a few good reasons why you might want your kids to watch this movie. Other quick tips for parents are that there is a lot of animated destruction. Now, while the hero is a woman, or Sandy Cheek, she's a heroine, the villain is also a woman. So heads up on that. There is no profanity, yay! And sea creatures requiring water are in danger because they're on dry land. And so that's the suspenseful part. Like, oh no, are they going to survive? So some of the themes that are illustrated very well are friendship, science, marine biology, and family. So on to the list of things that I really liked about this film. First of all, the movie begins with a musical number by Sandy Cheeks and then dives, pun intended, into the destruction of Bikini Bottom. Like all SpongeBob movies, and TV episodes. The visual humor is just off the charts. This isn't the type of movie that you can have playing in the background. You got to be able to see what's happening to really enjoy it. The color palette of the animation is super bright, energetic, and friendly. I've always loved movies that mix animation with live action, and we definitely get that. And that's one of the hallmarks of SpongeBob, the TV franchise, right? The movie is mostly animation, but some live action elements happen every once in a while, and they're just fun. The voice talents are provided by Carolyn Lawrence, as I mentioned, who plays Sandy Cheeks, Tom Kenny, Clancy Brown, Bill Fagerback. Hopefully I'm pronouncing these names correctly. Clancy Brown, I like a good easy name to pronounce. Mr. Lawrence, Roger Bumpus, Johnny Knoxville, Craig Robinson, Loretta Devine, and many, many more. The live action stars also include comedian Wanda Sykes, as I mentioned, Maddie Cardaropol, and Ilya Isarelis Paulino. Maddie's dopey facial expressions always made me laugh out loud. Now, if you were always a Sandy Cheeks fan, I think you're going to get a kick out of Sandy's backstory and family life in the circus. There's a funny twist that I liked. And spoiler alert, there are hundreds of little mini SpongeBobs. So what's not to love about that? It's adorable. And I was just like, oh, that's so awesome. Kind of like the Minions where they're just all over the place and they're all doing different things. It was kind of that type of a moment, which I got a kick out of. And then there's just a lot of action and silly shenanigans. So the list of things I didn't like is actually pretty short. First of all, true SpongeBob diehard fans have complained that this movie just feels like a Nickelodeon cash grab. On the other hand, if they love SpongeBob, they should want more of it, right? I don't know. It didn't bother me that this movie came out at all. Now, here's a spoiler, but it kind of bugged me. We're supposed to believe that it's okay that a villain does bad things because of certain motivations. So if you watch this with your kids, pay attention and talk to them about what they see and what was good and what was bad. And I guess that's probably all I should say about that. Some of the live action scenes are very wooden. You can tell that they're done with green screens. And so that was disappointing. Now, whenever I watch movies, I write down the funny lines and the interesting lines simply so I can share them with you so you can get a taste for the dialogue and the script writing quality. I don't want this to be a 20-minute review. And so you can see all of them on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. But don't worry, I'll share some of them with you right now. All right, so one of the lines that I wanted to share is really kind of a sequence of lines. This is a conversation. All right, so there's this conversation between the minions. It's a guy and a girl that support the big villain. And so the girl says to the guy, "You're such a sucker. I can't believe you made us follow through with Sue's evil plan." And then he says, "Hello, she bought us a vending machine." And then she says, "With money from our paychecks." And then he kind of looks at her and says, "We get paychecks?" I just thought that was kind of funny. And then kind of a funny, sad line is when Sandy Cheeks says, "All I'm good for is scampering." And I love that she's even in this universe of Bikini Bottom. She's a squirrel. And so because she's a land mammal, she has to have, like the oxygen tank around her head, which I think is pretty cute. And so it's fun to see her in Texas without needing the oxygen and to kind of see a little bit into her world. I also wrote down some interesting lines. And so, for example, Sandy Cheek says, we get to see her family, but then Bikini Bottom is her family too. And so she says, "You're my family, and I don't turn my back on kin." I guess I should have said that whole thing with the Texas accent. So Sandy Cheeks has a conversation with Randy Cheeks, who's voiced by Johnny Knoxville, who does a great job. And she says, "You're not in jail?" And he says, "Not unless you call society and all its rules a jail." And, you could imagine her goofy family. And so that was just a little taste of the kind of the family dynamics there. Now, whenever I watch movies, I instantly think of other films that you absolutely should watch. And so, of course, these ones are a no-brainer. The first one is the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, which was the first one. And then the sequel, SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water. I actually got a kick out of both of those. I think true fans were happy to see SpongeBob and everybody in Bikini Bottom on the big screen. Now, there were also some complaints that the movies weren't as great as they had hoped, but I thought that they were pretty fun. So, for what that's worth. Thank you so much for spending some time. Hopefully my reviews are helpful. If they are, give them a thumbs up, subscribe, you know the drill. Comment down below. If you're a subscriber, you know you already know that I reply to everybody that comments. I love hearing what you have to say. Have a fantastic day. Visit me on all the social media platforms as Movie Review Mom or as my author name, Trina Boice, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.